Okay, this is take one for Carol. So high up. Okay, take one for Carolyn Tuesday. Man, it's really unfortunate I was in a 1 year, 2 month, and 27-day coma directly after uploading my last video. I wonder what's been going on in the world since I was... Holy shit. Okay, so as you all know, I was gone for the last year from this channel, not because I willingly abandoned you, but because of the coma I was in that I had no control over. Anywho, I woke up 30 minutes ago and man, the world has gone to shit. Or you could say it always was gone to shit, maybe. Since waking up, this wave of existential dread has me feeling a myriad of intense emotion. There are some I will talk about later, and some I've already talked about. Follow me on Instagram. But today, however, we're talking about Carol and Carol and the end of the world. It's gonna be wonderful. It's gonna be about suicide. It's gonna be about gravity. It's gonna be about weirdly realistic eye movements. And it is going to be the video ever made. Wait, Brooke, don't you mean the best video ever made? No, I don't. I haven't done this in a year. I am rusty, so adjust your expectations accordingly. So Goodnight Carol was a show I had known of for a while. One of those things that you see on Netflix while finding the shows you actually want to watch. I say that since it immediately turned me off because I thought it was like some Family Guy, Rick and Morty inspired adult comedy. Did I ever mention that I'm beyond fucking infuriated by America's idea of adult animation? If the people that had ideas like this were given the funding and resources to make things with the ratings of this, animation as a genre would become even more powerful. Too powerful. And that's why they won't let it happen. And that is genuinely sad, actually. Especially as someone who does this. So sucks, especially. That's not to downplay children's animated media either. I mean, shows like Avatar and Kipo are significant in their own right. I just hate the boomer attitude of equating decent looking moving pictures to baby movie for babies that you must be drugged to sit through with your kids. I don't like that. And the only time they make animation that academics consider adult, it's garbage like Sausage Party. I fucking hate Sausage Party. It's one thing, if you're new here and you're coming here and you want to know something about me, about Brooke, I fucking hate Sausage Party. It was a garbage movie. You know, I saw a trailer for it when I was younger. I didn't know what it was about. I asked my mom if we could go see it, and thankfully she said no. So that was cool. But yeah, shows like that, movies, whatever the fuck it is, are ironically less complex and more immature than kids movies like Orion in the Dark, for example, which I fucking love, by the way. I fucking love Orion in the Dark. Go watch that shit. There's been a significant shift made with the help of streaming services. Wow, that's great. And movies like Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, even though I like the first one, but the climate surrounding animation as a whole, including the whole for kids label, is still garbage. So I'm going to complain about it until it is fixed. So probably... Sorry. But that was only the half of it. The lesser half. The other half is an issue I've had with Netflix specifically for a while now. So if it wasn't obvious, Carol and the End of the World is about the end of the entire world. Why wouldn't it be obvious, you ask? Here's the trailer for the show around the time I debated watching it. I reanimated it for copyright purposes. Isn't it good? I did a good job.
Dan, I don't want fucking trail mix on my fucking burrito. What the fuck is wrong with you? Son. But also, it's not about the trail of the mix. It's about the mix of the trail. People don't talk about it, but your wife leaving you without taking the kids is actually worse usually.
This is the trailer for the show. The trailer they decided to show you is a father getting trail mix with his son. And that's wonderful, I guess, but that's the whole thing. I bet you 1 million of your own internal organs you couldn't figure out the plot of this show based off of that. This trailer, combined with the art style, made me think the end of the world was just some metaphor for like being old or something. And if you hadn't clicked on the video, I'm not gonna lie, I think you probably would have thought the same thing. And guess what? This is the actual plot of the show.
There is a planet bigger than Mars that's going to destroy Earth in 7 months, and Carol needs to figure out a way to feel fulfilled in life so she can accept her inevitable end before she dies with everything else on Earth.
You get my apprehension? We're going from trail mix to fucking Ragnarok. Can we please talk about how terrible Netflix trailers are? So many amazing shows I almost did not watch because the trailers are garbage reps of this show. Especially comedies. I specifically remember almost refusing to watch New Girl because of it, and I fucking love New Girl and The Good Place, and I really like The Good Place. What are you people at Netflix HQ doing? Huh? What the fuck are you doing? Why don't you just read the synopsis? Do you think I go to my room after a long, hard day of being in my house to sit down and read? Look, Netflix synopsi are even worse sometimes. I can never trust them, and sometimes they aren't even there. The trailer should trailer properly regardless. Look, maybe we got off on the wrong foot. I love me some existentialist shit. It's my favorite. So if I had known that was the entire deal with Carol and Tuesday, I'm just saying I would have watched it sooner. But honestly, I'm kind of glad I didn't. If you are a good person that's going to heaven, you probably already follow my Instagram. But in case you're the other kind of person, I recently posted a comic there. It's about a lot of things, but it's very existentialist more than anything. Go read it. A lot of what I depicted there was stirred up by recent feelings and experiences. On October 7th, I was made incredulously aware of man-made horrors far beyond my comprehension. And yes, I did and damn doing things to help. Secure donations, sharing info, not supporting union-busting megacorps, trying to respectfully educate people. You know, doing what I can. But I still felt different from before. I felt myself change fundamentally inside in here. The point is, I have been cascading downwards since 2020. I bet that felt like the end of the world for a lot of people, huh? I bet that was the end for a lot of people. I was 17 during 2020, bruh. I'm 21 now, and it still feels like I'm in English class hearing about some new virus and a potential 2-week break from school. It ended up being a lot more than 2 weeks. Then it happened again. Not the pandemic, that just never ended, but the bad things in the world that a child of the capital might be blind to. This time around though, child I was 20 years old. I've weathered myself quite a bit. I'm smarter, more empathetic, probably more attractive, I would like to think. And as a direct result, this time around, these personality traits culminated in the complete breakdown of my reality and psyche. I was too aware, and thus too aware, to the point that it felt like the world was ending, or at least past the point that it could be kept from ending. It's the 21st century. Most of modern society is modern society. We can think, feel, and understand things we just couldn't 10,000 years ago. We have schools of thought dedicated to empathy and understanding. Dedicated! We have gone to space and cut things in half we can't fucking see. So why? Why is the world still so fucking awful? Why are there parts that are filled with more suffering than medieval Europe? War, death, famine, rape, racism, poverty. Sorry for the censors. I learned because I could this time, because I was smarter, and it has permanently dampened my understanding of what it means to be human. If beasts and parasites like this can call themselves human, where do we draw the line? Whoa. That was intense. Wouldn't you like a place to lie down and decompress? Wouldn't you like to rid your mind of man-made horrors and fantasize about a perfect world? Or so my brain said to me when it conked out late last year. You see, these were a lot of feeling. Bad feeling. Where did I go when I feeling this way? Art. I went to art both times. Not just the drawings I treasure so deeply, but the viewing of art. Art wasn't only the escape, but the solution. And around that time, the solution recommended itself to me when I think I needed it most. I didn't know what it was about because the trailer still sucked, but for some reason, I was more enthralled by the title. End of the world. That's what it felt like to me right now. I didn't care whether it was metaphorical or literal. I just picked it as my new to watch when eating show. Something cute to drown out the dread and social media addiction so I don't conk out while I'm eating in silence. You know, a cute little western slice of life about trail mix. And then I saw it. I saw the end of the fucking world. I actually saw it! This show had immersed me well enough in the novelty of its own premise that I was transported to their world, or more accurately, their world was placed into mine. This is a story about the end of the world. Carol's world, which is more or less exactly like ours, but with a planet on course to fucking obliterate. We've had stories like this, you say. We have, but I doubt you've ever read them. You want to know how we were introduced to our main character? She's trying to pay off her credit card fees. Yeah, Carol seemed like the polar opposite of me at first, and I think that's why I found her so interesting. Her physical world is ending, and within it, she just wants to keep on going the way she was. She wants to keep up the normalcy. She wants to keep up the mundane. Her dream, the one thing she wants to do before she dies, is live. I need this, she says, as she robs a woman at gunpoint for printer ink because her office is out. Oh, that's right, her office. One of the first things we see Carol do that brings her a modicum of peace during the end times is finding another job. You see, despite the inevitable end coming, Carol's world is actually quite grounded. I think that's why it's so immersive to me. There's no riots, there's no overthrowing the government, no plan of action. The governments of the world, or at least America's, are giving people rations so they can live comfortably for the last 7 months of their lives. Because the planet is slated to, kill everyone in 7 months. It's crazier than typical day-to-day, don't get me wrong, but it's not in the way we've almost always seen depicted. Humanity here, for lack of a better description, fully embraces its end. And it's because of that, the ending of wars, the distribution of food, that humanity ends up being kinder to itself than at any other point in history. It's because of that that Carol gets to find the meaning in what she's doing instead of just fighting for her life. That's a whole different story. And really the meaning isn't important. Hell, there technically isn't any at all. It's more just what she wants to do. It's just one thing after the other that makes her feel okay about what's happening, to the extent that you can be okay about, planet go boom. And that's my favorite part of this show. I said earlier that Carol seemed like the polar opposite of me. Seemed was intentional there because we're actually more similar than I understood on my first watch. Part of why I connected with this show so much is that it's how I'm always living to a degree. I am not a fan of existence. It's not because of any one particular thing. It's the whole thing. It feels wrong to me. I had my first existential crisis when I was 14. I stood on top of a hill and I just thought about it, about everything. This is awful. We just have to accept that the vast everythingness came from the vast nothingness, as if that makes sense. I am not a religious man, but whether you are or aren't, this should be equally as fucking insane. What are we? Not on a mental or philosophical level, but on a molecular level. How did we come from nothing? And if there was always something, how did it get here? If ever there was nothing, then there should have continued to be nothing, because something isn't come from nothing, but somehow it did, and now we have racism and taxes, and I hate this shit. Through it all, though, there was one symbol of peace, one place of refuge I found in this conundrum of our fucked up world. Death. It's pretty amazing. It's insane how much that looming of it in the form of a massive planet destroying other planet is ever present in the media. Literally every interaction you see, your view is tainted because of the knowledge you have about the world ending. And it's not even real, but because the writing is stellar, you still take it seriously. And then they die. At least I think they did. We never actually see the planet hit or confirm it's been 7 months. It's actually only been 4, but I am 93% sure they did that in case they got picked up for a season 2. Like, it is incredibly vague. I don't want to talk too much about the actual show, though. I want you to go watch it for yourself. All that to say, I don't think the acceptance and even the reverence of death deserves the depressing, nihilistic title it's often given. I'm just one person. But the realization that we are all going to die has brought me so much comfort in times of turmoil throughout the years. I mean, I physically cannot go back to normal. That's why I stayed up for 3 days straight making this video, because I wanted to. I'm so tired of the concept of literally having to wait until the world is ending to be the person you want to be. In the end, this show just reminds me so much of people's lives. Everyone, all the billions alive now, the trillions to not yet be born, probably way more than that actually, they connect to the concept of attachment to life and death. They essentially ask you if it's something you think is worth it. And I don't fucking know. Is it worth it? Is any of it worth it? Existing for the inevitable suffering and loss you will not only experience, but cause yourself? I'm not sure. And I think that's the whole point. None of these characters know what they're doing. None of these people know what they're doing in real life. They make choices every day about what they believe. They have faith and hope and perseverance specifically because they don't know. And we all live in that same world. The world where we have no idea what the fuck is going on. The world that will leave you to die or take you down with it. And what Carol chooses is to just do what she wants. To do what brings her joy. And that is the epitome of what I have learned from this show. Her name memorization, her water cooler talk, her ceramic mice. That's enough for her right now. And I guess I just don't want to wait until the world is ending for it to feel like enough for me. I want to have as many moments like this where I can just sit back and say, this is nice. No meaning, no omniscient goal, just living. Living like the end of the world, of my world, could be around any corner. What else can I really ask for? What else can any of us really ask for?
Wow, that was a video. It's over now if you didn't understand what's happening. I tried to find a good balance between ignoring the system that ties us down and the nihilistic idea of basically everything is awful, nothing matters, let's fucking kill ourselves. I technically started this over a year ago. The actual editing and animation only took a couple months, but I started the script when I started the show because I knew it would resonate with me immediately, and so I wanted to make a video about it. It's far from perfect, but I think this resonates with me more now due to recent events than it did when I started it. I'm not really trying to be a philosophical innovator. I know this is all stuff people know and have said before. I don't care. I wanted to talk about what I got from the show and how I translated it into my life, even if it's wrong or a bit basic. If you enjoyed it, that's all that really matters. I certainly enjoyed making it. Thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far, I genuinely appreciate it. This video is a bit rough, but it's just me laying the groundwork for all the awesome stuff I want to do in the future. I also have a gaming channel, link in bio if that's more your speed. If you're interested in content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time, hopefully. Stay brookie. Sorry, I'm trying to think of a catchphrase for my channel. It's really difficult.